Welcome to Pardon That Vine. My name is Chris Riccobono, and this is the world's most unbiased wine review forum. And we have a special guest in town today, Bertil Corgier. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Bertil is the ambassador for the United States for a negociant in France called La Passion des Terroirs. And I'll let him tell you more about it. But the Lurton family, which many of you know, who own many of the top chateaus in France, I believe are the owners of the negociant, correct?
Exactly.
Maybe you can tell the audience a little bit about what you do and specifically what the negociant firm does.
So, Lucien Lurton et Fils, La Passion des Terroirs, is a company that has been created in 1993 by the daughters and sons of Lucien Lurton, because in 1992, Lucien Lurton, who was the owner of 11 chateaux that he acquired during his life. In 1992, he decided to retire. So he gave actually all the estates he had to his 10 children. And together, they have decided in 1993 to build a negociant company to help the sales of all those estates. And little by little, the company, Lucien Lurton et Fils, La Passion des Terroirs, has been successful, and actually, the will of the children has been to really develop a range of different wines, not only the ones of the family, but wines from all the different appellations and of the Bordeaux region, and act as a major negociant, as a true negociant.
Right.
Yeah.
And the Lurton family, you know, obviously some of the big ones that people will recognize: Bron Cantenac, Desmarais, Dufour, Vivens. So some serious chateaus in Bordeaux. So let's today we're doing more value Bordeaux, and I think this is a great area for to concentrate on, because I feel like people in the United States don't think of Bordeaux as a value place. They think of it as high-end wines, and a lot of, just so you know, my audience is a mixture of experts and people trying to get into wine. And I think people who are new into wine, they're a little intimidated by Bordeaux because they have this reputation, and you know, obviously the price, and that you have to put them down, lay them down for so long. But what they don't realize is that some of the value Bordeaux are some of the best values in the world.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Actually, the Grand Cru Classé of Bordeaux represents only a little part, a small part of the whole Bordeaux production. Bordeaux is a very big region for wine in France. It's the third largest wine producing region in France, and the classified growth, it's a small part of the production. So you have a lot of excellent wines from small appellations, from more basic appellations like Bordeaux, Bordeaux Supérieur, that do not cost the price of classified growth and that are very nice and authentic.
Yeah. So we can continue talking. Let's start with the first wine. Maybe you can talk about 2008.
Maybe.
Or you want to start with the white?
Maybe, yeah. I think with a nice white Grave, Chateau Cabagneux. It's not Chateau Carbonieux. Classified growth of Pessac-Léognan. It's Chateau Cabagneux, an old estate, which has a nice history in the US, because this specific wine was chosen in 1939 to represent the white Grave at the New York Universal Expositions.
That's another thing. For many people, don't think of Bordeaux making great white wines.
Oh yeah.
And they are, especially, Semillon. What is this? 70?
It's 80. Here you have the breakdown is 80 Semillon and 20 Sauvignon Blanc.
Sauvignon Blanc.
So a typical blend of the Grave.
Typical blend, yeah. Maybe you can tell, I always talk about the left bank and the right bank, where the Grave is for them.
So the Grave region is located in the southeast of the city of Bordeaux. It's a region that goes along the Garonne, and it's approximately 30 miles long.
And that's
Yeah,
Pessac-Léognan.
Pessac-Léognan is actually part of the Grave region, and
Which
it's
is a great place to visit if you're going to go over there.
Yeah,
You know, a lot of people just go to the left and right bank, but I think it's an
Grave
important
is
place
beautiful.
to check out. So
Yeah.
let's give this a try.
So it's a 08 vintage.
A lot of lime.
Flame.
This is $14 retail. Very easy drinking wine.
Very easy. So you have the Sémillon that brings more round character, and the Sauvignon brings the freshness, the vivacity.
Good amount of minerality in this.
Yes. And it's a wine that is already excellent, and that can also age a little bit. No, I think.
Nice long finish.
Yeah.
Very easy drinking wine. I think it'd be a great summer wine. You know, it's not overly complex by any means, but there is that kind of secondary characteristics of minerality mixed in with the fruit. So I think it's a nice value wine. Let's try to get to the first red.
So I suggest to start with Château Barin.
Okay.
Château Barin, Bordeaux supérieur, owned by Thierry Lurton. Thierry Lurton actually bought this estate in 2007 from his sister Bérénice. Before that, Thierry was a social worker, an educator, a youth educator, but he still had, you know, a very tight link to the wine world because of the family. And he decided to buy this estate 3 years ago. A lot of investment, he has done a lot of investments. He has developed a nice range of wines, a claret, a rosé, a white, and 2 reds. An oaked version and an oaked version.
So this sees oak, or this doesn't?
This is oak.
This sees oak, okay. This is 2009 too, so we're basically tasting a future here.
Yes.
Which I'm excited about. As all of you know, 2009, one of the greatest vintages of all time, Bordeaux. Can you speak a little bit, go ahead, about, it can be a little bit confusing I think to some people, Bordeaux Supérieur.
So Bordeaux Supérieur, I know it's confusing. Bordeaux Supérieur can be produced in, actually if you look at a map, in different location, but the rules to be able to put Bordeaux Supérieur on the label, you have to comply with certain rules that are more strict than just Bordeaux. For example, you have to get the wines from older vines. You have to, before releasing the wine, you have to age it at least 9 months, to deliver a wine that is already more complex. You have a lot of specific rules.
It's a good sign of quality, typically.
Yes.
If you get confused, which many people do with all these different types of Bordeaux, the labels are not as easy to read, let's say, as some of the California wines. If you see Bordeaux Supérieur, it typically means,
superior in qualities than a regular Bordeaux.
Right. Let's give this a try. Right away, I feel like I'm back at the M Premier here. That 09.
Yeah, it's full of red fruit.
Tons of dark fruits. I think this is a $12 to $14 wine. This speaks to the quality of 09. I mean, this has a lot of texture. It's not some of these inexpensive wines I always describe are a little bit thin. Mm-hmm. This has a ton of texture, has a ton of fruit, and has a long finish. It's for $12 a bottle. So many people are drinking these horrible, Cabernets from other areas of the world. This is and it goes back to 09. I mean, I tasted so many wines between $10 and $15 that, were 90 points or above. And this will last for 5-7 years. I mean, this has 5 to 10 years. This has longevity in it. It says great acid structure and tannins.
For a nice vintage like 09, Chateau Barra will easily age for 8 years at least, 8-10 years. Here you have a breakdown of typical breakdown of the Entre-deux-Mers region, mostly Merlot, very mature Merlots, 60% Merlots, 30% of Cabernet Sauvignon, 10% Cabernet Franc. And I agree with you, it's
not ready yet.
no, it has to age, but for $12 to $15 you get a really authentic wine from handcrafted. It's not a big brand, mass-produced wine.
And there's a lot going on. It's not just a one-dimensional wine. Let's get into the next.